Greetings and welcome to Village Connector TV. My name is Glenn Garnes and I'm your host, and I'm excited to share with you our Community Treasures segment. This is a very special show because we highlight things that you're not likely to see anywhere else. Network television, cable television, I don't care where you go. This is a unique opportunity for you to have some insight into something special. And today, the something special is a company called VirtuArte. VirtuArte specializes in bringing artwork from around the world that you can give as gifts to people who matter in your life. And every piece of artwork that comes into the VirtuArte collection has a story to it. And I'm pleased today to have the founder of VirtuArte, Deborah Myers, here to tell us those stories. So Deborah, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, you have brought some real treasures, and that was consistent with our mood today, our theme of community treasures. But before we get into what you're here to share with us today, tell me a little bit about VirtuArte.
So VirtuArte's about 5 years old now, and it came out of my passion for shopping and my experience of international travel. Before I started it, I was involved in international economic development and international government affairs, so I traveled extensively. And everywhere I went, I always took time to see what new, interesting, unique things I could find to bring home. And at a certain point, I decided that it was time to do something completely different and figured I would try to bring my passion and my experience together, and out came VirtuArte.
So you literally combined your passion and your focus, your desire for shopping with your business background of being an international traveler for business and made that into a business for yourself.
Yes. So I realized in my travels, I've been fortunate enough to visit 69 countries and that I found some really unique, beautiful, creative things that most people who don't have the opportunity to travel like I have would never, ever be able to see, let alone own. So yes, I decided that it was twofold. One, I was helping these artisans expand their markets and expand their exposure to their work, and at the same time, give people the opportunity to own, see, and have pieces that, again, as I said, that they probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to find on their own.
Well, that's an incredible opportunity that you created, not just for yourself, but for others, because some of these artisans that you've shared are just truly extraordinary in their stories, and you're going to share some of those stories with us today. So why don't we dive right in? What would you like to share with us first?
Well, the first piece I would like to share is,
Let me get that one for you.
Is this box. So this box comes from Peru, and the top and sides of it are reverse painted glass. So what the artist does is he or she takes a piece of glass and then on the back side paints the design and then sets it into the, in this case, the box, the wood frame. This technique came to Peru when the Spanish came to Peru in the 16th century. And the Peruvians at first copied what they saw from the Spaniards, and then over time have developed it and evolved into what is now a traditional craft in Peru. And this particular box, as you can see, is hand painted inside also. And then this particular group also, so you can set it on a table, put little felt pieces on the bottom for the feet.
So this is literally a piece of Peruvian culture that goes back hundreds of years.
Yes, and one of my goals that I found is that in some of these places, the artisans have not been able to generate or create a sustainable income. So they have been leaving behind some of these skills in order to find employment that would in fact generate an income for them. But what is happening is if these skills don't get passed down and continued, then these people, these countries, these communities are losing part of their culture. So along with helping these artisans to generate a sustainable income, have them pass them down to the younger generations, we're also helping them to preserve their culture.
That's fantastic. And of course, that means that you're creating a legacy for future generations to appreciate the beauty of their upbringing, of their background and their culture.
Absolutely. And in some cases, if it's lost, if the skills are lost, then if the last person who's ever done this passes away and it doesn't get passed on, it becomes almost impossible to recreate.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's a beautiful piece. I'm keeping my eye on that one. I'm going to put that on my wish list and circulate that to some friends. So what's the next piece that you have for us?
So this bowl comes from Haiti, and it is made from a oil steel drum. So what the artist does is takes the drum, cuts off the ends, flattens out the piece, and then with chalk draws the design, and then with using only a chisel, dies, and hammer, create the design. So there's no electricity, there's no welding, there's no machinery. All of this is done by hand.
That is truly incredible. And it's sustainable because they're recycling something that would otherwise end up in a landfill someplace.
Exactly. So they make bowls, but they also make much bigger pieces of wall art if somebody's interested in something like that. But what you see here is truly, as you can see, very intricate engraving that goes into it, and then, as I said, all of this is hand cut. So it is really a piece. It is a treasure that you would find that you could sit on, on a coffee table. You could use this. I've used these for fruit to put apples, lemons in it. I've had people buy these as wedding gifts because, again, some people are tired of going to the department store, looking at the registry, and giving the same thing over and over again. So it makes a fantastic gift. It's got a great story, and it's something that will be definitely a conversation starter in your home.
Now that's one of the things that's unique about the VirtuArte collection is that every piece has a story to it. And it has multiple stories because you've got the story of how the craft is made.
Right.
It's usually got a cultural underpinning, and you've got the story of the artisan.
Right.
And all of that is available on your website. I mean, you can go
Yes.
to the website and you can actually navigate to a piece like this and then see all of the other pieces that are created by that artisan and then read that artisan's story. So
Absolutely.
let's do this real quick. Let's give our viewers the opportunity to find out where they can go to the website. So it's www.virtuarte, and that's VirtuArte.com. And I think that we actually have that up on the screen now. So it's www.virtuarte.com. As you browse the website, look for the stories of some of these artisans. It's just incredible to see how talented, how diverse, and how creative some of these folks are able to be. Remember, this piece right here, no power tools, no electricity. It was all done by hand. That had to have been hours and hours and hours invested in this piece of art here. And I'm sure that's why it attracted you, because you're very meticulous in what you add to the collection. You travel all over the place looking for things to add to the collection. So tell us about how that works for you.
Well, I love to travel. And so, as I said, it is my passion to go. I love to go into new places, see new things, meet new people, try new foods and new adventures. So when I go to a place, I'm always looking for something, something new, something unique. I go to galleries, I go to boutiques, I go to hotels and look around the hotel to see what I see in there, in the lobby, in the bar. I went to Vietnam a few years ago, and I found a painting that I just loved. And then I was on a mission to find that artist so I could buy a painting from that artist. So I never know where I'm going to see something, but my eye is trained to always be looking, because in the most unusual place, I may find that that next piece for the VirtuArte collection.
So in the business of VirtuArte, you're also a talent scout. You're always on the lookout for talented people that have creativity.
Yes, and I also have friends who live in various countries who are also my scouts. I now have people that come to the website and submit work that they would like me to take a look at. So it's grown a bit from me just being the one person out there looking. But as I said, I tell people I'm always looking for new things, because that's one of the fun parts is finding new artists and new products to bring into the VirtuArte collection.
What a fantastic opportunity for everyone involved. And I see we have some other beautiful pieces over here. What do we have over there?
Well, of course, no collection could be without jewelry. And so this piece and the earrings and the bracelet that I have here is by a Brazilian artist, Nielsen, who taught himself at night to design jewelry. So he, in all his pieces, he uses, this is called alpaca silver, which is a silver alloy, and then semi-precious stones in Brazil, which are quite plentiful and easy to find. So in this piece, we have unpolished aquamarine. Most people don't realize that when people think of aquamarine, they think of the turquoise bluish color. Yeah. But this is what it looks like when it is gotten out from the ground.
Well, that is a really beautiful piece there.
So this is, I call this a statement piece. And I've had women buy this, and I've had that they wear it, of course, you know, for evening. But I've also had women who bought it for and wear it with turtlenecks, you know, during the day. So it's a versatile piece. But definitely another one of those, if you're wearing it, people will stop you and ask you about it and where you got it.
And these are great, if you're going to business functions or social events, you're always going to end up talking with people. It's a great conversation starter to have someone come up and ask you, oh, where did you get that necklace?
And yes, absolutely. But the other thing is that you don't always want to be wearing the same thing that everybody else in the room is wearing.
Exactly.
And so one of the things from the VirtuArte collection is that they're limited pieces, limited editions. Many are just one of a kind. So that's not something that you would have happen to you as it could if you were just wearing something that you found at the mall.
And even some of the ones that technically can be, I don't want to say mass produced, but these are all done by hand.
Yes.
So even that, the artisan that creates that is not going to duplicate it or exactly in every instance.
No, you're right about that. So they may look similar, but no two pieces are exactly alike.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so you got some other things. Now it looks like you got something that goes with the necklace.
So I have these earrings, and that are of the same shape that can be used with the necklace, or they make, you know, a great standalone piece. And for those people who love bracelets, this is also a fantastic bracelet that, again, will be a showstopper.
Those look like great bridesmaids gifts.
Yes, bridesmaids gifts, of course, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Anytime you're looking for something that's special for that special person in your life, VirtuArte can help you with that.
All right, so I can say this because this show will not air in a place where my parents will see it. But this is your Christmas gift. Merry Christmas. They'll get a kick out of it. I'm going to send them the video afterwards, but they'll get a kick out of that. Well, this has just been a wonderful opportunity for us to see how creative people can be. It seems like the less tools you have, the more creative you can be.
In some places, yes. In other places, they use, well, I should say, like this piece that I'm wearing right here, this is from Niger, West Africa. This family makes all of this jewelry, again, by hand. And they use the same tools that have been passed down for 9 generations. So this family has been making jewelry for 9 generations. And so they use the same primitive tools. There's, again, no electricity, none of the, the modern day tools. But there's it's an apprentice program. So you start in very young before you have developed the skill and the ability to create the pieces then that they would sell.
That's incredible. And like I said, every one of these things has a story, both the artisan's story and the story of the craft, and then the story of the piece itself.
Right, and that's part, for me, that's part of VirtuArte, is that there's a story that goes with it, so that, if you decide to give something as a gift, then we will add a card in to make sure that the person who receives the gift gets the story behind the piece. And then they can also tell their friends that when they ask them about that, then they also can be able to pass on the story.
Well, when I was talking with you before, you were talking about how giving gifts is more about the total gifting experience and not just the individual piece. So it's everything. And you were talking about the meticulous way that the gifts are packaged, and you have bows that come from a specific manufacturer that you search the world to find as well. I mean, you really give some thought to this. So, and the reason is that you want people that give gifts from the collection to be memorable. If you were to think back, and I want people to think about this right now. Think about last Christmas. What did you receive from somebody in your life that matters to you? You probably can't even remember what it was. But this is the kind of gift that you would remember forever.
Well, it also has another impact. So I have some customers who have been purchasing from me for a couple years now, And I have been told by their significant other wife that when they see the white box with the teal bow, they know that something special has been picked out for them, and they can't wait to open it. So it's the whole experience, and then now for people, when they see that white box with the teal bow, it's like, oh, what's in that box? You know?
That is beautiful. Well, that is truly, that's truly exhibit A of the fact that you are impacting lives in a positive way with what you've chosen to do at VirtuArte. And I really appreciate your coming out and sharing that with us today. So let's do this real quick. I want to make sure that those of you that are watching have an opportunity to experience this yourself. So I want you to go over to virtuarte.com, www.virtuarte.com. And I'm sure that that's on the screen. I can't see from here, but I'm sure that our producer is doing a good job of making sure that you know where to go to have a quality gifting experience for everyone that matters in your life. You're able to help them with corporate gifts, friendship gifts, family gifts. It's all available for you at VirtuArte. So Deborah, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Village Connector TV. Will you promise to come back and see us again?
I sure will, and thank you. I really appreciate the time.
It's been my pleasure. So on behalf of VirtuArte and Deborah Myers, my name is Glenn Garnes. Thank you for joining us on Village Connector TV. Please come back and see us again soon.